The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different, I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and it's time to roll down the 7-round mock draft for the Detroit Lions. Don't forget, you will hear our instant analysis for all of the picks in the NFL draft live right here on YouTube. Coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well so you get all of our videos leading up to the draft, all the draft prep right here. Draft Prep Central. That's us. Detroit Lions. They have the number 7 pick in the draft, but we have a trade.
I have them trading down to 9 with Denver. They get 9 and 71. Denver gets 7 and 153. I think Detroit's hard and fast on Micah Parsons, and they don't want to take him at 7. Mm-hmm. I just don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be able to trade down any further than that, because the Giants would be a risk to take him at 11. I don't necessarily think I would take him this high, but if they value him to be a long-time starter, and he is a special athlete, don't get me wrong, he's a very special player. There are questions about him that I've never had answered appropriately. Mm-hmm. Some very strange things happened at Penn State, but he's a special linebacker. He's the best linebacker in his class by a mile.
Yeah, he's very rangy. He can get back in coverage. He can do a lot of things. His angles need a little bit of help, but other than that, Micah Parsons checks every box that you want in a new generation linebacker.
He's the best blitzing linebacker I've ever graded in terms of off-ball linebacker. Mm-hmm. This is the guy that can do all kinds of things. Think what Gerard Davis was supposed to be and what you kind of saw a little bit of early in his career. He's that times about 5.
Yeah, you pick up some draft capital, you still get the guy that you have been targeting at 7 anyway. I think that is a no-brainer for Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Now, number 41 overall, they get a guy I'm really high on. I love LSU wide receivers, and Terrace Marshall Jr., he is another breed.
He drops way too many passes for me. This is a guy that's fallen down draft boards a little bit. A lot of people will be shocked to see him there at 41. I think that's going to happen. I don't know how sold they are on him. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of teams that are getting really bothered that these LSU wide receivers, there's no jamming them ever. And I'm a little afraid that Terrace Marshall, his feet are not good enough off the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. He's very tall. And it kind of bothers me that he's a height, weight, speed guy, and I'm not sure that he wasn't made by LSU. There's a lot of dings on him that are coming out now. That's why he's going to get pushed down into the second round. I think he can still be a special kind of receiver. He's just going to have to be – you're going to have to take the time with him to teach him how to play the position, because he really doesn't know. They don't run a very elaborate route tree at LSU. Justin Jefferson was another breed of human. I don't think he is human. He might be a fucking Terminator for all I know. But I look at Terrace Marshall and say, don't expect him to be that.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that he's getting judged based on Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and he's not quite as good as those guys.
Well, it's the production for me. The production for me in 2020 was there with Terrace Marshall. It was the thing that we were concerned with Jamar Chase, is that he opted out, so we didn't know what his production would be like with a lesser quarterback. And here you go. You had Terrace Marshall with it this year. He only played 7 games, opted out early in the season. He still had 10 touchdowns in 7 games.
Yeah, but here's the thing. In terms of grades, when you grade the tape, mm-hmm. How many passing grades did he have this past year? In 7 games.
Oh, no clue.
There's 3.
That's it?
And only one of them was a clear pass. And he had a great game against Missouri. Other than that, it was very average tape, mm-hmm. With no Jamar Chase, no Joe Burrow. And that's a lot of teams have watched that tape, and they're getting a little nervous about that.
All right. I think that'd be a great pick in the second round for the Detroit Lions, who obviously need some help at the wide receiver position after Kenny Golladay left town, and Marvin Jones left town as well. In the third round, got back-to-back third-round picks here because of the first-round trade. Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon, is first up at number 71 overall.
I like Javon Holland a lot. He body type reminds me a lot of Byron Jones. He's not an otherworldly athlete, not crazy fast, none of those things. But he's pretty long for a safety. He does have slot versatility. He's kind of that new age of slot corner safety hybrid. And I think he would be the floor on him is so damn high that I know definitively, if you told me there was a guy that was going to go in the 3rd round that I knew definitively would get a second contract with whoever drafted him, it would be Javon Holland. Mm-hmm. He's just one of those guys, I know what he's going to be in the league. Will he ever be special? No, but he's a guy that you can pencil into your lineup for 10 years, and he's going to have a spot, he's going to have a role, and he's going to be pretty damn good at it. And he's a ball hawk. He's one of the best ball hawk safeties in this draft. He played corner at Oregon. I don't think he can play on the outside in the NFL, and most teams seem to agree with me. But I think when you convert him to safety, start playing him in the slot, the fact he's not a crazy unicorn athlete becomes less important. And the fact that he's a long ball hawk becomes more important.
As we were going through the 7-round mock draft, I kept screaming at Jeremy for about 20 picks. Jalen Mayfield. I don't think he's fallen to 72, but if he does, I think it's a great pick and a great value pick for the Detroit Lions.
I'll bet you $1 to a donut he does. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because some of his tape is fucking hard to watch.
Okay.
Technique is non-existent, I think would be the nice way to put it. He's just a gigantic human, and he's pretty agile for his size. Mm-hmm. He's very nimble. A lot of this is projection. His hands are terrible. He's constantly leaning out over his toes, which is a really bad indicator. I call that Robert Gallery.
Okay.
Because you're so big when you're competing, because he's been big for a while, mm-hmm. and you're so much bigger than everybody, and you're so much stronger than everybody that your technique starts to lack. And that's where I think he is. I don't think he's ever been taught how to be a lineman. I have him listed as a guard because I think he is a guard. Only spent one season as a full-time starter, played 2 games last year. There's just a lot that I think needs to be taught. The good thing for the Lions is that they can be patient with that. Mm-hmm. This is a team that knows they're not good. So they can take a guy like Jalen Mayfield, coach him up, and I think it'll be okay.
He's got the physical attributes. He just needs some technique work, and that's something that can be taught at the next level. Marvin Wilson, the defensive tackle out of Florida State. One of your Seminoles falling to 101. This is a guy who was talked about a year ago as being possibly a first-round draft pick. His last year at Florida State did not go all that well.
No, it didn't. He should have come out a year before. Straight up. I mean, I don't say that very often. This is a guy that I really like. I like him a lot. Very likable kid. A very likable skill set, if I'm being really honest with you. And I look at him and I just think to myself, was it the team or was it him? And I can make an argument on both sides. He seemed to wear down physically, like really fast. Because he did not look even remotely like the same player that he did 2 years ago last year. Mm-hmm. Obviously, being a Florida State fan, I watched a lot of him. I will root for this kid to my dying day. Very powerful guy, very good player. Just a lot of bad tape last year. And not great in the run game. This is an interior pass rush guy. Again, Detroit knows they're not going to be very good. So you can work through a lot of the hiccups with him on a team like this. Because I think he can come in and start immediately in Detroit.
Detroit gave up pick 153, so their final pick in this mock draft exercise is going to come at 112. And this is another guy. I cannot foresee him fall into the 4th round. I like all those Miami edge rushers. Pretty close all together. Quincy Roche is definitely the 3rd on that list, but I don't think the drop-off is 4th round.
There is when you're 3 years older than the other 2. He'll be almost 24 years old by the time the season starts next year. That's what dings him. Plus, he's undersized. He had to put on 10 pounds before last year just to get 245. That's awful little for a guy that's 6'3". I think he has to play with his I would like him better standing up than with his hand in the dirt. I do think he can be a pass rush specialist in a wide 9. You're going to have to help him get around tackles in the NFL. First steps, nothing to write home about. He is very fast, very good, natural, bendy type of pass rusher. This is the kind of guy that goes one of 2 ways. Either he gets to the NFL and he becomes Robert Mathis, or he gets to the NFL and he becomes Vernon Gholston. Because the physical gifts have gotten you gotten you to here, and you just don't have. There's not a lot of tools in the toolbox, and so he's either going to learn to be and I think he's a two-down pass rush specialist kind of guy. I don't think he's ever going to hold up against the run. He's just too small. I mean, he was a average at best run defender in college. So it's not like you're going to get to the league and get better. I do think he has a role in this league, and I think from everything I've heard, he's a very good kid, very coachable kid, and in the right situation, I think he can be that two-down pass specialist. That's what I project him as, and that's why he's going to fall that far.
Out of all the 7-round mock drafts that we have culled together here, which we've got them all, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll see each and every one of them right here in the Sportsocracy. I think this is my favorite collection of 6 picks, just homer after homer after homer after homer.
I would like this a lot for the Lions, and with Brad Holmes, I have a funny feeling that you're going to see something like this. This is one of the best drafters in the NFL, now has his own team, and he's going to try to put his stamp on it in the draft.
We will be live in the Wicked Weed studio all 3 days of the draft. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
Be sure to share it with your friends. We'll see you on Thursday night.